on, guys? It's your boy Ghost here, and today, you guys know the vibes. Yesterday, Bungie released the showcase. I'm gonna give y'all a TLDR. If y'all only want to watch a 45-minute video, I got you. Let's get into it. All right, the most important thing first, we are getting new supers. Woo! No, that does not mean we're getting a new subclass. So we're getting 3 new supers in the main 3 subclasses that we already have, Arc, Solar, and Void, that all seem to be themed around supporting your teammates' gameplay. So Titans, before you even moan and groan, no, it is not another third-person melee super. Yay! We're not getting the same super for like the 3rd year in a row. Let's go! Titans will be getting a new Void super that allows you to jump in the air and throw 3 battle axes that will embed into the ground or enemies that you throw them at and explode with Void energy. But after you throw those battle axes, you can pick them up and use them to slay your enemies, and not just you, your teammates as well. Titan is also getting a new aspect that allows you to consume your grenade and basically make a mini banner shield on your arm that you can use to block damage, and after you release it, it will create a burst of Void energy the place you throw it at. It's great, and I'm glad Titans are finally getting a new super outside of Sunbreaker. Now moving forward, I could tell the creators that's been making these aspects and supers have been watching a lot of anime lately, because this season you got Hunters over here throwing Rasen shurikens with their new strand aspect, and now you got them using the flying rising technique from Minato. Let's get into it. The new Arc super allows you to throw an arc knife and then blink to it and spin around, doing damage to enemies nearby 3 times. If you played Destiny 1 and remember the arc blade ability called Showstopper, it's similar to that. Hunters are also getting a new aspect as well that basically allows you to helicopter yourself in the air using your arc staff, giving anybody in the vicinity the amplified status effect. As the devs were talking about this, they very much made it clear that you're not supposed to, but you very much can combo into these abilities. So you can use your slide melee attack, and while you're up in the air, use your helicopter ability to get even more distance up in the air. Lastly, moving into the Solar subclass for Warlocks, this one heavily reminds me of Radiance from D1. But before any of you people who used to play Trials and Endgame PvE get any extremely bad flashbacks, depending on what situation you were in, no, there is no self-res. I repeat, there is no self-res. Your melee looks to be an upgraded version of the Incinerator Snap when you're in the super, where it adds more projectiles, and your grenade looks like a butterfly that seeks out enemies and ignites them. You'll also buff your teammates' weapon, letting their solo weapons apply scorch stacks that will lead to ignitions. Joe Blackburn, the game director of Destiny 2, is sure that this super will be able to compete with WoW because of how much damage constant ignitions do. If you're unaware of how much damage constant ignitions can do, that is the main reason why everybody was running Star Class Warlock before it got nerfed. Now to know that this is going to be a huge damage bonus when it comes to your weaponry in raid encounters, I assume you will see one Warlock on WoW and another Warlock on Radiance. Bungie devs did confirm that they still don't know what exact weaponry type will be able to use this Scorch buff, but I'm assuming if they limit it to just solar weapons, it'll be fine and it will make sense thematically. But if they want to branch out and give it to other weapons as well, I'm not going to complain, and I'm pretty sure you aren't either. And the last aspect for Warlocks will allow them to summon a solar buddy upon casting the Rift. They will shoot out autonomously and scorch enemies upon hit. Now let's talk about the destination and some new weapons and returning weapons. The new destination will be inside the Traveler called the Pale Heart. The devs made it clear that the Pale Heart is very much molding around your character's memories. For example, when you get into the Traveler, you will see an overgrown version of the Destiny 1 tower. They made it very clear that the destination will be very linear until you beat the campaign, where it will splinter off so you can explore the rest of the Traveler. If you're wondering what I mean by linear, think about how all the Destiny locations that we've been to so far have all been in some form of a circle, to where you can start at one place, go to the left, and keep turning right, and you will end up where you started. The devs said that this destination will be linear, as in you'll be able to see the entrance of the Traveler from almost no matter where you are on the map. And like I said, once you beat the campaign, the rest of the map will open so you can explore what's been helping us this past 10 years. Now moving on to some returning and new weapons. First off, the Dragon's Breath is coming back from D1. For those of you who don't know what Dragon's Breath was, it was an exotic rocket launcher in Destiny 1 that would shoot, and upon hitting an object or enemy would set off a bunch of napalm covering the entire floor in fire. Moving forward again, the Khvostov. Now D1 members and D2 members can remember this. That is the first auto rifle you get when you make your Guardian upon becoming a new light. It will be coming back as an exotic. It won't be as similar as it was in D1 to the original Khvostov from the concept art, but it is coming back in some variation. Another old weapon that's coming back to D2 is Red Death. It is coming back as a solar pulse rifle, and I'm very curious how it's going to differentiate itself from Crimson, seeing that Crimson is basically the exact same version of Red Death with the exact same perks and everything. So I want to know how they're going to differentiate the two. Maybe it'll come back with a new set of perks, but at that point it really wouldn't be Red Death anymore. We'll just have to see. We're also getting a couple of new weapon archetypes in this season. For example, we're getting a rocket sidearm family, which seems to be a sidearm that fires rockets, which is really cool, along with the new support frame auto rifle that allow you to heal your teammates as well as damaging your enemies. I also need to see how they're going to differentiate this from Lumina, because I don't really know why you would use this over Lumina. They're going to have to give me some good reason, and a good enough reason to use it, but not a good enough reason to completely kill Lumina, even though it's already fairly rare to see that hand cannon now. We're also getting another pre-order bonus in the same vein as Quicksilver Storm was for Lightfall, but for this one, it's called the Tessellation. The Tessellation is a exotic fusion rifle that changes its element based on the subclass you have equipped. The fusion rifle can also consume your grenade, upgrading it and then spinning it back out to deal more damage. Now, I haven't used this fusion rifle in game yet because I'm waiting to buy it until next week, but it does look cool from the gameplay and I can't wait to see. I'll make sure I'll keep you guys updated on how I feel about it in the coming video. Since we just talked about some new guns we're going to get, let's talk about the new enemies we're going to be facing inside the Traveler. The new enemy, the Subjugator, are going to be similar to Lightfall's Tormentors. Subjugators have the ability to wield the darkness just like we do, so we will be seeing them using Strand and Stasis. I can already imagine how annoying they're going to be in Legend Campaign. They also have the ability to give out Pyramid buddies similar to the Arc and Solar and Void buddies that we have on Warlock that will be added on top of their enemies that they're supporting. So it will be another thing you have to worry about with the Cabal, the Shadow Cabal who have the shield on their back. You got to worry about breaking that. And for this one in the Subjugators, you have to worry about the Pyramid buddies. Now, I am wondering if the Subjugators will always be a challenging enemy that makes us change the playstyle to defeat it, or is it just going to be another enemy we end up riddling with bullets on our way to fight the Witness? Now, this next part's a little bit confusing. Moving forward into the final shape, there will be certain activities that will have a static light level so friends can jump in and join you. There will also be a new fire team power system that will bring your friends who are lower light level up to the highest light level person in the team so they can do the activity with you. Now, the confusing part of this is they didn't really say what activities will and won't be. I'm assuming the newest activities won't have this ability, so there will still be a reason to level, but we don't really know. So I'm interested to see. I'm assuming this is what Joe Blackburn was talking about, where it said it'll be even easier for your friends to come play with you when he was talking about it in the video. If so, this is great. I'm glad this is a feature coming soon. I just hope they don't make leveling obsolete with this, because you got like that one friend that plays Destiny all the time, and you're gonna just say, well, I don't got level no more because you leveled, so I'm good. And moving on to the last couple of subjects. First off, say goodbye to seasons, because after these next couple of seasons, seasons will be going away and being replaced with episodes. The first 3 episodes will be called Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy, and will be released in that order. These 3 episodes will be replacing the 4 seasons that we normally get, and they said they will be more action-packed and story-based than the seasons could ever be. Now, the acts will be split into 3 different parts, Act 1, 2, and 3, with each act having more content for us to play. It will still be somewhat similar to the Simmons we have now when it comes to Battle Pass wise, where Act 1 will have the original 100 tiers of a Battle Pass and 25 artifact perks, but after those 6 weeks pass, we will get access to Act 2, which will add 50 more tiers to the Battle Pass and another 5 artifact perks, and so on for Act 3. That means we'll end up with a 200 level Battle Pass and 35 artifact perks, which is amazing. I can't wait to see what kind of builds we could do. But I do have something to say about the Battle Pass being 200 levels now. On one hand, this could be great news. We're getting an extra 100 levels of the Battle Pass that we can get even more content from and more materials, which is great. But the feeling of having to do another 100 levels when I know there's people out there who can barely get through the 100 we have now seems a bit scary, even with the time we have now. On the other hand, even with the 3-month time we have now, you got people reaching the 200 to 300 Battle Pass level now. And we're going to be getting more time because there's one less episode than there are seasons that we're used to. So I think I might be overreacting, but otherwise, this is a good change, and I hope they fill up those extra slots with good content. Now, that's about it for the Final Shape Showcase. Let's get into what they talked about the new season, Season of the Witch. Season of the Witch will have a new system that allows you to pick cards similar to the deep dive buffs you used to get from Asa. So now we get a combination of roguelike gameplay and deck building gameplay to where we combine the two, pick the cards that we want that gives us the buffs that we want, and use them in seasonal activities, which is a great idea, and I'm glad Bungie is leading into this type of gameplay. But hear me out here, boys. Imagine if this was his own game mode where it was like a horde road-like gameplay, and you start with like a freaking Kvostov and the enemies are low light, and as you play you get to pick your abilities and you can pick your abilities, your subclass, some different cards you can use, and it turns into like a road-like horde mode where it's like Prison of Elders on steroids. How does that sound? Bungie, hire me, I'll make it for you. The reprised raid that we'll be releasing this season is Crota's End, and we have already spotted Necrochasm. They were hyping up how hard this contest mode raid will be because they're using this to take measurements on how hard or easy to make the Final Shape raid. Now, I find this very ironic because Crota's End was by far leaps and bounds the easiest raid in Destiny 1, and now it's supposed to be the hardest day one clear. I am very interested to see. I do not know if I will be running it because I don't have a team set up, but if you do want to find out, follow me on Twitter, and I will be streaming it on my Twitch in the description below. I am very interested in seeing what weapons they decide to bring back, since we probably won't be seeing Black Spindle, since Whisper of the Worm is already in the game, but who knows. Lastly, we have a new way for new players and returning players to understand what the stakes are going to be in the Final Shape, to find out who important characters are and why we're heading this way. In the new Timeline Reflections activity, it is a free-to-play activity that will captivate the expansion so anyone can understand the story moving forward into our journey to fight the Witness. In this activity, you will be playing iconic missions that basically go over and explain to you why this character is important or why their story beat is important to the current story coming soon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys staying to the end of the video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And remember, stay spooky. Peace.